Hey buds, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I want to welcome you all in to my Life is Strange True Colors review video. Now, before the game even released, I made a video explaining everything I was really looking forward to about this game, and honestly, I highly recommend that you guys go check out that video, not only because I talk about every single game in the franchise, what I dislike and what I like about each and every one of them, just to see what opinions of mine have changed now that I've played through the entirety of the game, along with the DLC. In this video also, I'm going to be touching up on every single game, so that is the original game, Before the Storm, Life is Strange 2, and True Colors. So if you haven't seen gameplay of those, or if you haven't played through them for yourself, I highly recommend that you do beforehand, just to fully understand what I'm talking about. If you're interested in watching a True Colors Let's Play, I actually played through the entire game of True Colors live on Twitch, and then I shortened it, and I uploaded it to YouTube. So there will be a playlist of that in the description if you want to go and check that out beforehand and kind of understand where I'm coming from and see while I was playing the game what I was thinking. But getting into all the things that I really did enjoy. Now, like I said, I stream this live on Twitch, and there is just something so much more fun about playing a video game with people. Even if it's a single player game, you're still having people interact and talk. You guys wanted to kill a child, I said, we probably shouldn't. And, you know, little things like that. We got to experience T-posing Jed, and it was just amazing overall. So I think that experience, I wouldn't really want to trade that for anything else, because that was probably the most fun that I've had playing through one of these, like, oh, choose your own adventure, I guess, type of games. I thought that the visuals and audio, especially the audio of this game, was just so good. Now, I'm not one for ASMR, but there were moments in time where I felt so amazed with the audio. And even, I don't know, I don't play that many newer video games. I don't know if many companies are upping their audio quality and everything, but little things, like when Alex is at the music store listening to, I believe it was Scott Street by Phoebe Bridgers, that moment when Alex is done listening and she takes off the headphones, the song is still playing, she takes it off and it slides off ever so, it's so satisfying. And I'm going to show it to you here, just for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, just to know what it is. To build off of that, the music choice for this game was absolutely amazing. The music choice, mwah, chef's kiss. It was just so good. Every single song felt like it was the correct song at any given time. I'd even say that this is my second favorite soundtrack of all of the games. My number one is Before the Storm, because I really love that type of music, and music is subjective, so if you don't agree, that's totally fine. But I have gotten most of the songs from this game, and I've already been listening to them. My personal favorite is Brother by Fen Lily. I loved that song so much. I've listened to that song so many times. It's like a nostalgia that I've never even experienced before through a song. And I know it's music that's existed since before this game was even thought of. The choices of the music, the events that were happening while the music was taking place, just blended together so seamlessly, and I loved it. The characters of this game also felt the most realistic, I would say, out of any of the games. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of people that enjoy these games have very big issues with certain characters' decisions. Why did Sean take Daniel all the way to Mexico when Canada was right next door? Personally, I don't understand why Rachel Amber in the ending of Before the Storm asked Chloe to go search for her mom literally 10 minutes after being stabbed by Damon Merrick. It didn't make any sense to me. Now, yes, you can look in under a specific lens and kind of see like, oh, Sean was scared, he just knew he needed to leave. There was no logical thought process to it. It was just, we have to go. Similarly with Rachel, I believe that she was trying to find some sense of closure, and since she was bedridden, she couldn't go anywhere because she was literally just stabbed. She was asking the next person, the person at that time who she trusted the most. So if you look at it from certain perspectives, it can make sense. But I feel like overall, these characters all had very clear motives, clear reasonings as to why they were doing everything. Like, for instance, the reason why Pike was acting like how he was when he was interrogating Alex in, I believe, Chapter 4, it was because he was scared. Alex's power makes that a lot more clear, and you can really see everyone's reasoning for what they've done or what they're going to do. One of the things that I also really loved about this game is the fact that I got to predict so much before anything happened. Even before Gabe died, I had a sneaking suspicion that Jed had something to do with it. I never trusted him a single time, and it was so amazing to find out in Chapter 4 that he was in fact one of the villains of this story. I avoided all spoilers as much as possible, so it was really fun that I was able to come to my own conclusions and kind of hold it throughout the entire game, and for it to come true. Another thing that I loved about this game was the pacing of the LARP. Now, I spent 3.5 hours playing through the entirety of Chapter 3, and this was my genuine reaction when we got to fight the big bad boss for the first time. Did you hear that music in the background? I was ecstatic. I loved that portion of the game. That was my favorite chapter at the time, up until Chapter 4, which is now my favorite chapter. I just thought that the pacing was something that was really nice. Everything kind of blended in very seamlessly up until about the 5th chapter, which I'll get into later. Now, on the topic of Jed, there were some things that happened, like I said before, with T-posing Jed. There were some glitches that, since I was playing the game with people, it made me laugh a whole lot. For instance, this iconic image from our live stream, which this glitch is now patched, but we were one of the few people, or at least what I'd expect to be few people, that actually got to interact with this, to see this in all of its glory. These glitches, even though I expect a game like this to be fully finished and not have many bugs, glitches like these are always really fun to find. And honestly, I have to say that that's something that I really liked in this game, because it added to the fact that I got to enjoy it with multiple people. Now, one of my issues with the game that I said before it even came out was I felt like I wasn't going to be very attached to Gabe when he died, because I've seen the trailers, I know that he dies. I played through chapters 1 and 4, and I didn't connect with Gabe at all. I was kind of like, oh, well, we didn't even know him. I said that a lot during my playthrough. I didn't feel bad whatsoever, because I knew he was going to die, so I didn't connect with him on that level. However, when I was playing through Chapter 5, and I saw the events that were taking place, the events that were unfolding before my very eyes as their past goes into depth, and we kind of delve deeper into their relationship, I started to actually feel some form of connection to Gabe. And I feel like that's where the writers or the storyboard design really came into play, because I couldn't care any less about Gabe passing. I was shocked. You can obviously tell by my reaction when I saw him get yeeted off of that cliffside. Chapter 5 actually made me feel like he was a real person. Instead of just, oh, something bad happened to him, let's push Alex's story forward. Which is how I felt about him from chapters 1 through 4. And while we're on the topic of me changing my mind about characters, I feel like they did that so naturally. I was on so many different people's side, and as the game sort of evolved, I changed sides, I swapped perspectives, I thought of new different ways, how everything could go wrong, what happened, all these. I was constantly thinking. I was so interested in the whodunit of this game that I actually started to make up theories with my mom, all of which I accused Jed of doing something bad. So it was really fun to get to do that murder mystery type of, oh, well, let's investigate here, let's think about that, let's do this. It really gets you more invested in the plot. I also was in love with Alex's powers. To be honest, I didn't even think about anger as an emotion. When I played through chapter 1 and I saw her go to town on Mac, I was so excited, because for some reason, being angry and having it supercharged never really rendered in my mind. Also, I think that the DLC was incredibly snug. Now, this is the only thing that I actually did not record myself playing, because there were so many different songs, there was so much to do in the actual DLC, that I figured I would play it on my own time. And honestly, I'm so happy that I did. It took me 5 hours to fully play through the DLC because of how long I was taking. I was listening through every single song, I was going over every single little thing, truly experiencing the DLC. Heck, I've even decided that on New Year's I'm going to make a new tradition where I play out this DLC and experience the shifting of seasons like Steph does, just to get in the mood of a new year, to think of all the new possibilities. And on the topic of the DLC, it was very gay. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a lesbian. I love gay people, okay? I loved the romance with Alex and Steph. I've yet to do another playthrough where I fall in love with Ryan, but honestly, I think that the love story between Steph and Alex was just too perfect. I was so excited when I was playing that for the first time. Maybe it's gay longing, maybe it's I'm lonely. I feel like this game, though, did a really good job of putting gay people in as it's just another love interest. There is no difference of anything. Gay person, straight person, bisexual, it's all the exact same. They're both equally achievable, and it's up to the player on which type of relationship that they are going to go for in their playthrough. I really liked that normalization, though, where they weren't overly pushing for the straight love interest, and they weren't overly pushing for the gay love interest. It was totally up to the player to decide what happens to Alex, who Alex falls for, and what happens in that story. And that normalization is especially refreshing, since in order to have the gay love interest in Life is Strange 2, you need to go along with Finn's plan, and you need to make Daniel break into a literal drug compound. Well, I believe that that about covers it for everything in this game that I was looking forward to. And now we're gonna get on to the things that I actually did not find very good. Now, I'm going to start off, this is a very personal thing. This is something that I did that I don't feel like many other people would do. But I have to air it out because I am still kind of salty about it to this very day. Now, when I loaded up the DLC, I got confused because Annika, thanks Annika, was in my chat saying that I missed something, saying that I did something wrong when I was setting up the DLC because it asks you a little pop-up, have you played the original and did you save Arcadia Bay? I got confused, I hopped out of the game, went back in, and I was like, oh, well, I'll start another one. And I saw my save file. Now, for some reason, I thought that my save file was just for the DLC. So I ended up deleting 18 hours worth of my gameplay that I had just done. So I was really frustrated, and I believe that you can honestly tell. Really weren't. I'm gonna delete these two files, yeah? Which is as Steph. Yeah, bonus chapter wavelengths. I really hope that that did not just delete all my stuff. Did I just delete all my files? I just deleted all my files. I just deleted all of my files for the game. Oh my god, did I just do that? Did I just... I saw it say wavelengths at the top, and I was like, oh, it's the thing. But that's just a little personal thing, and I doubt that anybody else really had that issue. It was just me being, I guess, very tired and seeing that. But I hate that. I hate that about this game. Never will I ever think of this game and not think about how I deleted my entire save file on accident. Okay, into the actual issues that I have with this game now. So, there were very minor issues when the characters would obviously loop an animation. Now, from what I had seen, this happened a lot in Chapter 5, when Jed would stand somewhere and then he would jump ahead, probably about 4 or 5 frames. It's not that big of a deal, but it's definitely noticeable. It would also happen a lot with Alex and Steph. It happened in my playthrough when Alex was first comforting Steph after the foosball game. It also happened when Steph was asking Alex where she should go because she wanted to leave Haven Springs. Now, these are very minor issues. They're not really affecting any of the gameplay. Everything is still very much playable, but it's just one of those little things where you're like, oh, I thought the game was supposed to be finished. Now, I'm not sure how many people also noticed this, but in my Let's Play, when Mac was asking me to cover for him, when Riley entered the scene, she is actually T-posing for a single frame. Now, it is literally a single frame. It does not affect anyone's gameplay. If you blink in that second, you won't even be able to see it. And things like T-posing are really funny when you look at it. Now, to branch off of these very minor glitches, there were more small bugs that I had found. Now, because I had accidentally deleted my save file, I went through the entire game again, making the exact same decisions that I had made the first time. This is the only time when I was actually given the Steam achievement for finishing Chapter 3. I really like to get achievements. I do feel like I have achieved something. But at the same time, these very little details really add up. The animations very noticeably looped, people were T-posing everywhere, the achievements weren't loading in properly. All these things. There was one point in time when I was walking around in Chapter 4, And there was a guy completely missing. I couldn't find him. I heard him speaking to his mother on the phone, but I didn't see him anywhere. Only when I played through the game a second time did he load in. But it's also at the same time, I paid a lot of money for this game and I expect for it to be totally 100% finished. One of the things that I talked about a lot in my review video of all of the games was the fact that when you're listening to music, the visuals loop a whole lot. Now, I didn't really have that much of an issue with this game because all the visuals were new. I never saw these animations before, I wanted to feel the atmosphere, but I feel like on my second playthrough, I'm gonna already be over it. I won't want to listen to these songs. I won't want to sit down and really take in the atmosphere. So I was a little bit let down with the very limited visuals that would show when you were listening to music. I did feel, however, like the first time that I saw them, I was very much invested in everything that was happening around me. Another thing that I really did not like was how quickly we left the mines. I was hyping up these mines the entire time. In my mind, these mines were housing some type of dragon or something truly amazing, something epic, something that would really rock my world and change my perspective on everything that I've had in the game thus far. But all that we did was really walk in a straight line. I was really interested in everything happening while we were in the mines. But to know that it was just a rock slide and someone covered for murder wasn't as interesting, I guess, as I was hoping for. I just wish that we would have been in the mines a little longer. We would have had to go through some rubble, find something, anything like that. I wish that there was a bunch of rocks places you'd have to do the little, like, press W to interact, something along those lines. Use the power to kind of understand where people were, what lever to hit to get in somewhere, like a little mini stop. And that would have also added a little bit more time to this chapter, which I felt was extremely short. Similarly, I wish that there was something more with the little hit W. We saw that one time throughout this entire game, and it was when we were charging at Mac. I felt like that was a feature that they could have used a whole lot more. Now, I'm all for story games, but I really do want to interact with the characters on another level. I want to be able to feel like I'm actually the one doing stuff. I feel like that's why I connect with games like Until Dawn so much. Because there are times when if you miss that single button, if you don't jump over that log, your character is dead. To me, the end didn't feel satisfying. I wish that there was something that would have made me interact while the events were taking place. Like, I wish that there was a quick time event, maybe someone pulled a gun. That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought that once Pike stood up to try and defend me against Diane, that he was going to be shot. And I said this in my playthrough. I compared it to when Lady in The Walking Dead was talking to Daryl and Rosita on the train tracks about how she had finally come into her own, and then she got immediately shot in the head through the eyeball. I thought that something amazing like that was going to happen, but I was actually really disappointed to find out that we were just going to be talking. But it was a good enough story that I was engaged the entire time. I feel like seeing that slow progression of Alex's control over her emotions would have been a lot more interesting, because halfway through the game, it feels as if she has total control over her emotions. I was very excited to see how she was going to react after taking Pike's Sphere, but then she broke down for like 5 seconds and then totally got over it. Now, after finishing this game and really thinking over all of my points and what I really like and really dislike about it, there are a lot of very unique decisions that you could make, but overall, I would give it a 7 out of 10. This entire game is good enough to play through multiple times and not get bored. If you were able to join us in our live streams of the game on Twitch, or if you even watched it on YouTube once it was uploaded, I want to say thank you so much, because I really enjoyed playing this game with you guys, and I feel honestly that if I played this game by myself, I would not have enjoyed it as much as I did with you guys. But yes, folks, that was my review of Life is Strange True Colors. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Is there something that I forgot to mention? Is there anything that you think I should have touched up on that I didn't? Feel free to comment. And I want to say also, remember everyone, we can all disagree. It's just a video game. It's not that serious, but please be respectful if you don't agree with someone in the comments, or even if you don't agree with me. But I want to say thank you all for watching this video, and remember buds, join the village today. It's only a click away.